Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? Oh, I couldn't get my camera to turn on. And now I was worried it just turned off again, but it stayed on. I got panicked. I panicked! Um, Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing well. Tori, you are correct. I was grabbing a drink as well. I need to do another mixed drink, like a fun tutorial video, but I want to get it all like, oh, I think I have an idea to try and create something downstairs. It's just not well lit anywhere in this house. Ironically, during the day when I'm downstairs, there's two skylights in here that just feel like they're magnifying the sun, but the rest of the day, it's just awful lighting in this apartment. They installed, the people who owned it installed, like just really bizarre lighting in here. They're not like normal size light bulbs either, so I can't put any like energy friendly. Well, I don't know that they're not energy friendly, but like a normal light bulb. I can't just twist in a normal light bulb anywhere here. So it's bizarre. But it's not my house, so, or my townhouse or whatever. So, but I do want to do drinks. I do want to do like more mixed drinks and stuff. And, I was thinking, so if you're familiar and you've ever watched a mixed drink video I've done, sometimes I show the shelf downstairs, and I was thinking about like maybe putting that on, like doubling the size of the shelf, like doing 4 shelves so I can get all the liquor bottles like off of the like IKEA. It's like an IKEA cube, the 4 cube thing that's on 2 feet, or not 2 feet, it's on 4 feet. I was thinking about maybe getting a long one, like a 6 one, because I have a lot of glassware, and then like putting that on wheels and putting extra shelves, and then like being able to, so then you could go behind it, like move it away from the wall so you could go stand behind it, because it's like just at the right height, so then I could have like a little filming area. But I think the amount of work it would require to do what I want to do on top of, like, it's a very tight space right down there that I would basically, there's like a recliner chair that I would have to move somewhere else that it can't really move. I don't actually have like a TV downstairs. There's no living room or anything down there. So, it's weird. But, today, my drink today, oh no, I didn't bring a coaster. I'm trash. Is, another beer that my friend Tim, I told you recently, one of my great friends, Tim, he, Pulp Fiction. I'm sorry, like right here on the can, like you can barely read it. It says Pulp Fiction 11323. He brought me a couple of beers from Oregon, where he's from. Oregon. I don't know how you say it. Oregon. Hello, that got really bright for a second. This is a Mako's Ride on Life shirt. Do you like it? It's a polo. It's from Roosevelt's. This is my first of the polos, but the second I saw Rocco's Modern Life, I was like, oh yeah, I need that shirt. I also got a Reptar one. So you'll see me in a Reptar one. That one's got like a, so how this has like a purple collar, that one's like a green collar, and the shirt's like a dark blue with tiny little Reptars all over it. So yeah. So anyway, he brought me some beers, and I did an orange creamsicle. I didn't do this. He brought this for me. It's like orange creamsicle, fruit, and where's my makeup influencer hand? Here's the product. I hate that this camera doesn't switch like that. Oh, I took a picture. So I'm going to be like, why is there a random picture of this beer in my thing? Anyway, so that's the can. It's from Great Notion. I think I need to put like my tracker. It works sometimes. It doesn't work all the time. You know what would help me? Reading manuals. But I know I won't retain that information. Anyways, this is a tart ale with orange and natural flavors. It's 6%. I'm just going to have this one tonight. One drink. Didn't have any drinks yesterday. Great Notion Brewing and Barrel House from Portland, Oregon. I just said the Reptar shirt, and I really should have brought it up here, but it's like downstairs in my room. So, but the Reptar, honestly, the polos are very nice. They're very roomy. They're a little bit bigger. I feel like size, at least this one is for me. Feels a little bit bigger than I wear an extra large. And I feel like this one's a little bit bigger than the button-ups, which I feel like are very fit. I just feel like I'm in a place right now where I'm like, when I wear those, I'm like, I feel good about myself when I'm wearing them. So I don't know. That's, you know, you gotta get the stuff that works for you, right? Yeah. So I wanted to do a little update here. Oh, Erica's in the chat. Hello, Erica. She went to Universal for the last of the last ride of the whatever it's called, Poseidon's Fury and Lost Continent. Good riddance. Sorry to anybody who maybe got all moved around or whatever. So I thought this was maybe going to be a sour. I don't think it's a sour. I mean, it's an ale. Ooh. Let's give it a little sip, shall we? I don't know why I always do this thing with my finger. Like, it's that girl who was doing that young girl who was doing, like, she pretends to be a flight attendant or whatever, but sometimes she does, like, pretends to do the ASMR videos, and she's like, Yeah. Solid. It's pretty good. It definitely drinks like a, kind of like a sour. You know what actually reminds me of? Tang. It's giving me Tang more than it's giving me orange creamsicle, and I'm okay with that. But it's not thick like a smoothie, because there was one other beer here you got me too. It's just a smoothie beer. So this is pretty solid. Oh yeah, I'd enjoy this. I am enjoying this. Oh, a Goonie shirt from Roosevelt's. That's cool. I think I'm going to, like, write to them because, I don't know, because I've taken it upon myself, but I'm going to tell them I feel like I would love it if they continued. I know they did lines with Nickelodeon stuff because they have a bunch of SpongeBob shirts, but then they also have shirts that have, like, a ton of, like, the late 90s, early 2000 Nickelodeon characters on it, but which is fine and good, but I didn't really watch SpongeBob or anything like that, and so I'm like, I would want like one that's just real monsters. But I also was like, I would love a Disney afternoon series that's like, because I was thinking today, I was like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a Tailspin shirt? I mean, his shirt's a button up too on that show, so I would love like a Tailspin. You know, I would love a Powerline shirt from like a Goofy movie. So I don't know. I'll have to be like, can you guys get more licensing with Disney? Yeah. What was I talking about before? Oh, okay. So for those of you who may or may not know, I started that personal Patreon, and that was to do like contests and things like that. And so I wanted to let everybody know who I announced, like the winners on the thing. I do like a separate exclusive like live stream for the people who do those, so that way it's not all about like Patreon on here, and I don't want people to get confused because this is like a personal one I started just for me, because Patreon is the best way I think to facilitate these contests. I actually want to switch it to Ko-fi, my Ko-fi site, which is where I like sell my art and things like that, but which is, does the widget still work in here? It does. It's right there on the lower left. So it's ko-fi.com, and on there it's like you can buy me a drink or whatever. I don't always say that. But this site takes like no money from digital creators, and so I feel like it might be like a little bit of a more efficient way to do it instead of just making rich people more rich. I don't know. Anyway, the reason I'm saying that is I wanted to let anybody know, if you are one of the 3 winners from this month, your stuff's been mailed out except for 2 of you I haven't mailed. Kim, you're in here. Kentucky Kim is in here. She won the bag. Your print for the person who won the Funko, Kate and Kim, your print and map haven't been mailed yet because I didn't want to put it in the boxes that they were going in, because I'm like, I don't want wrinkles, or I didn't want to roll it or anything. So I'm going to mail that separately here in a hot second. So, but I wanted to show everybody, if you're interested, what the February, what month is it? The May, what was the octave I just hit there? The May contests. So if you want to give me 1 second, I can still talk to you, but I just have to grab them because they're over there. I'm sorry, I thought they were behind me, but I have the things here to show you, or 2 of them. I don't have the painting. So the painting is going to be my classic Maxxis power line. That's the thing. You know, people, you can see it on that coffee site. I have it on there. But for my people that are in the in our red tier, you're gonna. This is what you're gonna try and win this month. I didn't post the questions because like you got to work for it. So I'm gonna post a picture of it, and I'm gonna leave like a little question, and you have to answer that question to the best of your ability, and then you have the potential to get this guy. It's all, you know, one person can win. So Powerline is in our red tier contest right here. Isn't he cute? I love this. This was a limited edition Wondrous convention. It was a Funko.com exclusive. So he's super cute. Yes, I did get one for myself. This is actually mine, and the one I ordered to do this for is already sealed. I didn't even take him out of the box. I just made sure it was the right Funko in the box, but I just like left him in there. So I have that, and then for the folks that are in our blue tier, this is the Funko bag that you're looking to that you can win. And that is, this is cute. It's a crossbody bag. I know that some people might be like, that's a purse, but I don't think it feels like a purse. I feel like it's like a little satchel, and this size has become a lot more popular. And also when you're at Disney, I really don't think it matters, but I think this is like the perfect size bag for like a park day, because look, it's got like a, it's got a pouch here. It's got a pouch here. It's got two pouches on the front. See? And then, plus I love the colors. And then the inside is like, first of all, can you see that a little bit there? I can't. I literally never used it, so I'm like, well, I took it out and put stuff in it to see if it fit. So I lied. I did wear it around the house. But there's a zippered pouch inside of here too, and I was like, this is perfect because this is like, I like a bag that has division, but you can have like your hand sanitizer. You can put your like wipes and everything, or you know, for the tables and everything can go in here. Your electric fan, if you're like me, just constantly overheating, and then you know, like this little slidey pouch, breath mints, whatever you need. Like basically everything I put in my regular bag could fit in this bag. A little camera if I'm doing the little camera instead of the big camera. So this is a pretty solid bag. I believe this was a box lunch exclusive, and it is sold out. So so we got one of those. That's for everybody in the blue tier, and then like I said, the gold tier, you're gonna have to answer a question, try and win a Max painted by me, hand painted by me, done by me, one of a kind. Well, I've painted the painting before, but they're all unique because of the way I spray paint. I like to spray paint to add like a vignette to the background. So they're all technically, it's like when you get one of those shirts that are all the same print, but they're all like no two shirts are alike. It's like that. So anyway, you can check that out. There's a link in the description of this video, but it's like patreon.com/Ryno1185, which is like all my social media. So that's RYNO1185. And that's pretty much all that Patreon is for. It's just like the contest, and I'll do like exclusive live streams on there as well for those folks. But I thought it was fun. I like having the themes to it. So future themes, I've got a couple of Marvel ones. So I've got like a Marvel fanny pack that might be Guardians themed. And there is a Thor Loungefly that's going to be on there as well. And then I'm thinking about there might be like a movie night giveaway where like it'll be like a Blu-ray with like stuff like that. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Like I've got little pieces here and there that I'm like, okay. Like I was thinking about a Halloween one for later in the year, because I got two like Halloween Loungeflies to give away as well. And actually I lied. I have two. I have two because something else is a surprise. So but yeah, I have too many bags. So this is where this all stemmed from, because it was like I could sell them on Poshmark, or I could sell them on like eBay or whatever, or you know what? I thought we could do something fun and have like a contest, and somebody could could contribute $5, $10, $15, and you could win a $100 bag, $90 bag, whatever. I feel like that I like that even playing field. Like I'm not saying I wouldn't ever like sell something on eBay, but I just feel like it, like, I don't know. Just every now and then somebody's got to feel like they can win something for less. And I like being able to be that person at the very least. The only thing is, like, I got to make the money for the thing to be able to do it. I'll go broke otherwise just doing this. But now I'm like kind of addicted to it, being like, it just feels so much better than like an eBay sale or whatever, you know. So I don't know, just having fun with it. I hope everybody else is having fun. But how is everybody doing today? I know, Elizabeth, all it is that bag, all it's missing is the water bottle pouch, because that's a key to me. But I will say this, it feels deep enough that, like, you could definitely stick your water bottle in there and, like, probably zip it almost all the way closed. But I think if you had, like, a regular, like, if you just bought, like, the Dasani water bottle, I'm pretty sure that would fit in that bag. Yeah, a Dasani water bottle would fit in this, because it's, like, up to here. I think it'd be, like, close. So I'm just going to put these away. Don't mind me. It's just an empty screen here. I can show you this painting I am working on right now. It's wrapped up in plastic. I don't know if I showed this before, but I'm working on this. I think I'm just going to sell this one. I don't think this is going to be one of the contests, but I got a long way to go on that one. So, Ursula. But yeah, so that's that. And I got to catch up on this chat. So, Oklahoma City. Hello. Everyone's doing well. Okay, so I don't want any spoilers in the chat. I don't want anyone to tell me anything about this, but I will tell you I have been playing the Jedi Survivor, and I'm embarrassed to say that I'm almost done with it, because I've had it for, what is it, less than 2 weeks, I think, and the game, the new PlayStation tells you how long you've been playing a game, and I'm up to like 33 hours, and I was like, oh my, that's like a whole day I didn't sleep, and then this, and I'm sure people have beat it in less than that, but I'm trying to savor it a little bit. But it's also like I'm worried the story's going to get spoiled. But I will tell you, I did beat, I'm like literally on, I think, the second to last scene of it, and there was like an emotional part that I like cried. So I gotta say, it's great, and they really, really should consider either making this character part of the canon, or honestly, if I was them, I think there's money to be made to just literally adapting these games. I'm assuming there's going to be another game. I don't know. I'm not at the end yet. He could not make it, maybe, but I think these would make a great like trilogy or something like that, or a show even, because it's so good. It's so good. We're not done with Super Mario World yet, Trey. We're definitely gonna play that. It's still here. I've just been a little kind of all over the place, running around or doing some stuff, and this week's got a little bit of a busy week too. I know I have there's a bunch of work stuff to do that I've got to get taken care of, and then some more like creative stuff. So we are going to continue that journey, though. Don't you worry. We're doing that one for sure. I was going to stream the Survivor one, but it's not the type of game where I can interact with the audience and still be able to do this. At least not with like my current setup, the way I have everything done up here. But I will tell you, this PlayStation is amazing. Thank you for everybody out there who was who was generous enough to like help me on my way. But it's gorgeous. It literally is one of those things where I was like, why do I have this TV? I need a better TV now. That's my next thing. But I can't get a new TV up here the way everything was installed when I moved in. I'm just like hoping and praying this thing does not die while I still live here. But we'll get it all figured out. We'll get it sorted out. So this like whole doing the contests and everything, like it makes me feel like I'm like, okay, we're decluttering a little bit, but it's going to people who I know aren't just like resellers or whatever. They're people who are going to enjoy it like me. And so there's like some emotional component of that's like really kind of assisting me along the way. So I am very appreciative of that. And then of course, if I do end up like, when I start decluttering and stuff, if I put anything that's like cool up on eBay, I'd be like, hey, look at this cool thing or whatever. But no, yeah, so we are still going to play Super Mario Brothers for sure. What night is it tonight? Tonight is Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe we could do that tomorrow a little bit. I'm not making any promises. I'm not sure. But I did also film. I got invited to go to this really cool Alice in Wonderland theme bar called High Tea Orlando that is now open to the public. And I recorded like my first like out and about on the town, like trying to be like in depth about what we were doing video, making it my like own thing. And so I want to share that. So that I'm hoping to get done by the like end of the weekend or something like that. And but yeah, so I've got that on the horizon. I also realized I did that, and then I thought even today it was like, didn't I go? Oh, I went to MegaCon. And I never made a little like video of that, so I'm gonna have to like edit that up before it's like completely irrelevant and doesn't mean anything. But yeah, so let me just scroll back a little bit in this chat to kind of catch up here. I'm so sorry. Let's all take a sip of our drink together, shall we? Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Always a pleasure to have all of you in here. Oh, Trey's making a margarita. I went with Craig and Kylie. I went with them to we went to have because our tradition is like we have margaritas on Cinco de Mayo. I don't know, groundbreaking tradition, but I don't know how it started. But we went to Agave Azul, which I like, but I had like the house margarita, and I swear when you order a margarita on Cinco de Mayo, it is never a solid. I feel like that's rude. I'm not saying they don't make good margaritas. It feels like there's like the extra mix to let it stretch a little bit farther, and it just like put me in this like I felt so full. I couldn't drink any like real good margaritas. But yeah. Oh, thank you. Compliments about the show today. I appreciate that very much. When are we going on our cruise? Diane asked about the polos, and I feel like I said that really early on here. So this is my first polo from Roosevelt's, and I feel like there's still that they're honestly even like look. This shirt stretches and comes back, but it doesn't feel constrictive. Like we're not talking like spandex in a Power Ranger suit. We're talking like it's like that. I put it on this morning, and I like text Craig, and I was like, oh wow, I've never had one of these polos, and it feels like I'm wearing like a cool blanket right now. Like it was very cooling of me. I didn't really spend any extended time outdoors today, so I can't speak to like breathability or anything like that, but I love this feeling of this material. It is lightweight, but like still thick enough that it's not like, oh, I feel so self-conscious. Like I'm wearing a tank top underneath. Why is my camera doing this weird thing where it is getting brighter and darker? I'm sorry. This camera, the Sony a7 III, Craig says the same thing, and it drives me insane. But I mean, I should have this on a manual setting. There's something wrong with the sensor and the auto function. But anyway, no, I love this because Rocko's Modern Life is like my favorite cartoon show, and I love that it's like his shirt, but then they're like all on it. Like Spunky's on here too. Spunky, Rocco Filbert, and then it turns the page, washes his hands. You turn the page, you wash your hands. Heifer was always my favorite when I was a kid. Every night at midnight, he comes down the stairs naked. But the fit, I said this feels a little bit flowier, a little bit less tight. Craig said that wasn't his experience in his, but that's how I feel with this one. So, but I very much enjoyed it. I'm worried because polos for me, they usually go either way. But I've got a second one, and I'll report back after I wear that second one too. They are like pumping these shirts out like crazy. Is the only thing. Like there was a Happy Gilmore one that was released today, and I'm like, oh, give me that Power Ranger one. I'm hoping they make a Power Ranger one. I don't know that they are. That wasn't a reveal or anything. I'm just scrolling through here. Oh, am I excited that park reservations are going away? Well, it definitely worked better for a person like me who always thinks he made a park reservation and then didn't, or like somehow made it for a different park or whatever. Just as somebody who lives here and like wants to do it for work, but also like for fun, it's like, okay, you need to it's like they're trying to trick us into not being able to do anything. You know what I mean? Da, 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 da. Oh, we got to talk the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I saw it on opening night, and let me tell you, no spoilers in this chat, and no spoilers or anything like that. I loved every second of it. The guy who played the villain in this movie was phenomenal. He was excellent. I loved the story. I love that, like, Rocket is my, like I love Black Panther and I love Rocket Raccoon. Those are my two. Like, Rocket is like my favorite MCU character, and his story was just so good but so heartbreaking. And like, I'm telling you, I did the cry where like it came out of this side of the cheek and I could feel it going down my face, and it was just like, it was so emotional, but it was such a good emotional, like, it's a good, when I say it's the last one, I think it's going to be like a different group of Guardians, and the next one is essentially it. But so I'm sure there'll be more Guardians, and some characters will show up, but it just feels like this one is a good, like, you have 1, 2, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and it's like they fit very well together. You know, obviously you can't just watch those because they hinge on also Infinity Wars. I feel like the Guardians remain, right up and center there. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I would really make the time and effort to go see this in a cinema, because this to me felt like, honestly, like a Marvel movie from before Endgame. Like, I know that after Endgame, people have felt a little like wishy-washy on all the movies, with the exception of like Spider-Man No Way Home, but that kind of exists in its own little world. But this one it felt like it was right in there, in that, like, that's the solid sweet spot of Marvel. It wasn't trying to do it. It didn't feel like it was trying to like start something anew. It was trying to be like, we already know the world that we exist in, and we're trying to fill in some of that story to be like, we don't know where Rocket came from or anything about him. So it's like that, but then also like, what's Peter's emotional journey been like, and what's the other Gamora been doing, and then Mantis, Drax, and Nebula was fantastic. Every character just really shone in this movie, and that's what I liked about it. Like, it just felt like a nice warm blanket. It is an emotional movie, though, and I don't mean that. I don't want you to go in this thinking it's going to be like a super sad movie or anything like that too, because it still has that, like, you're going to feel a lot of things, so you're going to cry for many different things. So I really, really recommend it. I think I don't know how much time we should have before we have like a spoilers discussion or something like that, or maybe we do that. It's like an exclusive on that. Maybe that's what I'll do for a little Patreon thing or something like that. I don't know. I don't like putting spoilers out in like a public video, because then people can see them. But I do not watch Vanderpump, Julie. I apologize. Rocket Happy Meal toys. I didn't know there were Guardians of the Galaxy Happy Meal toys. Oh my God! I'm gonna have to go to McDonald's. Anybody else having a drink tonight? What are we all drinking in here? Just reading, just saying hi. Erica's drinking her drink. Oh, John, UCF. That's fun. I went to school there. Get me a gym membership if you end up with a job there. Give me a discount on that or something like that. I went to the gym every day that I was at school. Oh my God, I was definitely in the fittest I've ever been in my life. It was great. My head was huge, though. Oh, Tori, thank you. Yes, I did. I'm trying. My goal is not to make everybody cry at work when I'm like, I just want to say nice things, because I don't know. You never know what happens. Like, tragedy could strike, and I don't mean to be negative about that, but it could be something positive too. What if like Steven Spielberg gets on the phone and says, "Hey, random guy in the Rocko's Modern Life shirt, saw you on the internet, and I want you to be in this movie." I would definitely take that opportunity in a heartbeat. And so it's like that sort of a thing. But Michelle is asking how my car hunting was going. Well, it's going well because I have a car. I bought a car. I did the thing like Angela Bassett. No, I could never do anything like Angela Bassett. She's phenomenal. But I got a Mazda CX-5. I enjoy it very much. Still not used to having like a back seat and trunk that you can actually put stuff in. So it's a good experience, and I enjoy it. I said I was having like not buyer's remorse. I'm suffering from buyer's guilt because it was like, you know, the money you put down as a down payment, you're like, oh my God, was I just buying a new car because I was bored? Like, you know, being foolish and like I wanted to be an adult and do whatever. Like, no, my other car, as much as I loved my Genesis, which I did really, honestly, thinking about it as it goes on, I'm like, I think the Genesis ultimately is going to be one of those where I was like, that car was a great car to drive in. Like, fun for me to drive in. It wasn't my choice, you know, it was like a secondhand, but it was one of those things where I loved driving it. It was a great car to drive. It drove so well. It just started to have, you know, the engine was like dismounted. There was something with a steering column. My bumper, like there was a thing that fell off a truck that like went through the bumper. And so there was like a hole in part of the bumper, and it was, you know, it would shake, it was loud, and the air conditioning had just died. And I just put like $2,500 worth of work in the car. And I knew it was going to cost at least $5,000 to do what needed to be on it. And the Kelley Blue Book value for that car right now was like $5,000. So it was like, it was time. Also, the babies, my sweet little babies, like Artie's going to be 10 in September. And I feel like I was like, if not now, then when? Because I want to be able to like throw him. Well, not throw him. He's 9.5. I want to be able to pick him up and just put him in the car so I can take him somewhere, you know, just to go play outside, because there's nowhere to do that where I live. And, you know, so it's like one step at a time. So, oh, got someone flying into Orlando this week. Thinking of getting that, or Zelda. Is there a new Zelda game coming out on Friday? Is that what it is? Because I don't, Zelda I don't think is really my type of game. I don't know. I should give it a try. I have it. I have the first one because I think it like came with my my Switch. But there is a Star Trek game coming out now at the end of this month, so I was like, I feel like I'm definitely going to get that, and I hope it's good because I love Star Trek. And if it's just like I can be a part of Star Trek, I'll be happy. But I hope it's just not like some crappy like money grab thing or anything like that. So that's going to be my next game, I think. But yeah. Sorry, just scrolling through. High Tea is owned by the same people who own Cocktails and Scream and Player One. Or not Player One. I'm so sorry. One Up. I keep getting the two the names mixed up here, but I like them both. Corgis are wow. They don't like when I leave. Ooh, Sunset Walk at Margaritaville, and the margaritas are great. I didn't realize Margaritaville was like a whole little like strip of shops and everything like that. I literally thought it was just like a resort with like a water park or something like that. It was crazy. Lindsay, I hear you. So we went earlier in the day because it was like I didn't want to be stuck in the mad. It didn't even matter what restaurant you were going to. It didn't have to be a Mexican restaurant. It could have been anywhere, and it was just like, oh, ooh, Topo Chico, love Topo Chico. Have I been working on any art recently? I have, actually. So yes, I was doing so the reason why you're not seeing the Powerline painting I've done was because it's half done right now. So I'm working on that. The Ursula one I want to continue to work on. But I finally did. So a couple of years ago, I'm talking like before it was probably like 8 years ago, I made a dolly for my camera, which if you don't know what a dolly is, it's essentially a vehicle that glides onto like a track. Think like a little, like those train cars where you do this thing with, that your camera goes on, that you can like move it smoothly. So you can build one with like PVC pipes and essentially the wheels that you have to have on it, because it's got to be smooth. You can't have any bumps in it or anything like that. But I also built this in like 2014, so it was 9 years ago, I guess. It was before like gimbals were really affordable or anything like that. Now, I mean, they're still pretty expensive, but it cost me like just under $100 to build this thing, because skateboards at that time too, I couldn't find them anywhere. I wish a Five Below was a thing then. So I had to buy like 4 skateboards, and that was the most expensive part because I needed the 4 wheels from each one of the skateboards. So I built this and then basically used it for like one thing and then never used it again. And I still have all the pieces up here. The poles are on the ground behind this bed over here. The wood is like downstairs. I don't know why. I need to just like let it go and realize I just like did it to do it, and I'm never gonna use it or whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm just like, but the reason I'm telling this story is because with those skateboards, 3 skateboards, 4 skateboards, yeah, 4. I was left with just the wood, like the board itself, and so I used one of them, or I used 2 of them. I tried to make like just like a version of a hoverboard. So I did it once with like my own version just off the eye, like with this like netting and all this stuff on it. And then I actually found sort of a thing online. I did it again and refined it. Like I cut the board so it had the square back that went up, and it has all the pieces, and it's like up here. I'll just show you. I feel like I've showed you before. I talk about it all the time, but so I use the boards for that. I have one board left. I've had it for years, and I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with it? So this is the hoverboard I made. So this was, so it was 2 pieces like this. Obviously, you know how skateboards are, and I like cut this with a jigsaw. See, I put the sticker on. Like, it's not perfect. I messed this up. I found this like sticker online, and I sized it down to fit the board correctly. My cut isn't good. That's why it's like off just a little bit here, but this is like felt. This is foam, like layered foam that I cut out, and then on the bottom, these are like lids of some Tupperware I got at the dollar store. This is more foam I cut and shaped into this foam. This was a koozie I had to cut up because you needed the right like thickness. Also, you know what you should never do? Cut up a koozie. It's absolutely incredibly painful and awful. So I did this, and then I was Marty in 2015 for Halloween. So homemade. It's good. This is probably one of the best prop things I've ever made. So anyway, I have one of these boards left, and I am painting on it. I'm painting on this front side. I know everyone was like, they do the back side when they do the boards or whatever, but here's the thing. I have the things that the wheels went on, so like if you want to hang it on the wall, you just go like that and it hangs off of those things. So I was like, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to paint it on the front side, and it's a power line. So it's Max's power line, but it's the same image I always do with him with the crossed arms and the smiling thing. You know, it's on the t-shirts, and it's like going to be him on the middle. It's going to be like lime green, and then I want to do like writing on it, I think, in like puffy letters, like it's like a notebook, and then I want to do like lasers on it. This is what I see in my head. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to do it. Sometimes I see it. Sometimes it's unfeasible when you do it. Also because it's the skateboard's like textured on the side. Sometimes it's like I'm a perfectionist with the lines. So that's what I'm working on. That's my next art project. And, you know, depending on how that is, I might sell it. So I might just put it online, but I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things. If it comes out right, like the way I'm imagining, I'm going to be like, keep it. But I have like a power line painting up there I did. I have another power line painting in here. And I'm like, and then I have a Max one of the first thing I ever painted. And it's a black square canvas, and it says standout in giant letters. And then there's Max like dancing on it. And I was like, I have the best version of that one I've ever made hanging downstairs. And I was like, I cannot keep making pictures of the same thing. I can do whatever I want. Don't tell me what I can't do. Boom. Nailed it. Anyway. Petition to make high evolutionary king. I agree with that. The high evolutionary, because that guy was on fire with the acting. That's the bad guy from the Guardians movie. Ooh, the SOS Tiki Bar for my birthday on Saturday. That's fun. Guardians of the Galaxy, getting the feedback on that. Love the shirt. Thank you. Oh my God, I went to see it Friday morning. Look at Jay's. I went to see it Friday morning, and there was a popcorn machine that had caught on fire, so the theater wouldn't let you see it. Oh my God. That's wild. Sweet Tooth. I haven't watched Sweet Tooth. Tequila Sunrise. No way. Too much orange juice. Threw up outside of Pulse once. Tequila Sunrises. Fell in the mud. Slipped in the mud. Fell in the mud. Had a nosebleed. Threw up from the orange juice in my stomach from one drink. And I was just like, today is not my day. Sorry. Erica's seen my car. Sorry, I'm scrolling through. I'm trying to catch up. Buyer's guilt. Yeah. Too real. Oh, Trey's talking about he's trying to gather folks on his trip in town. Tears of the Kingdom. Is that the Zelda game? They're going to come out with a more powerful Switch. Well, that's the thing. I have the original Switch, and one of my controls is like popping off of it. It's not like holding onto the thing very well. And then I know they've made the ones that are like the solid ones, and then they made the OLED or whatever the screen is for that one. But I'm not upgrading. It's one of those where I'm like, I'm not upgrading until it's like a different system. Do you like the hard-sided suitcases or soft-sided ones better? Are you talking about for traveling? I like the hard ones, just because. Well, I guess my like carry-on, my little rolly one is technically a fabric one, but I think I like the hard-sided ones too, just because it gives the illusion that there's a little more give to that than the soft ones. And I usually have like, I don't know why I'm always traveling with fragile things. Maybe because I myself am also fragile. I could make it into an end table. I feel like I missed what I was talking about. Kylie. Okay, right here. Kylie just said, have you watched the series Picard? Kylie, let me tell you. Picard Season 3 is like one of the best TV shows I have watched in years. My friend Kim finally watched Picard Season 1, and now she hasn't watched 2 yet. And I thought I was just going to be able to get her to just like ramp and go through it. But she loved Season 1, and I was like, okay, I think you are going to love the 3rd season. Oh my God, it's so good. Like, I'm literally debating, I think I'm just going to start it over and watch it again. But yeah. In terms of luggage, are we talking about luggage for travel? I feel like in here, the Wandering Panda, I see Kim, you're talking about it. I do also always go for the lightweight luggage. The lighter the luggage, the more you can pack. But also, it's just easier to travel with, because if your luggage is already weighing something and then you're adding stuff to it, picking it up to go, whatever, it's just like, it's a nightmare. So I do always hit up like TJ Marxism, TJ Maxx or Marshalls or Ross. Those are all like pretty good, affordable ones for it. I had gotten some on Amazon one time for the last time, and the lining like ripped like right away. Like that Alaska trip I went on, I bought brand new luggage for it because the wheels on one I had bought for like 4 or 5 years ago that I've used a million times, so it definitely paid for itself, was finally like breaking. And I just was like, I had to return it right away. I was like, what the heck? This is like $100 and something. No way, baby. Yeah, like John says, some of the best luggage comes from the holy trinity of bargain deals. Erica has left us. Switch light, switch OLED. Casco. Oh man, Mark, your Disney trip's already over. I only just saw you post a photo from it, and I was like, oh yeah, you said you were here. I mean, I had insane. Like, I had a friend's birthday party I forgot about. My childhood friend from home was like visiting, and I haven't seen him in years. So I was like, I am going to go see him. So I saw him like Friday night for a little bit, and then I saw him Sunday night. I took him to Domu. I don't think he liked it though. He's not a big adventurous eater, and so he was like kind of like he was very like meh about the whole thing. It's like, sorry, it wasn't an Olive Garden. You're going to Disneyland in August, Trey? Are you sure you're not going to the Diz event? Is it like the 6th or something like that? Okay, I'm caught up. Okay. All right, we're here. I'm here. I'm not going to do this for super much longer. I told myself I was only going to do it for an hour because just because I want to keep up. Well, one, I'm on like the last scene of the video game. But also, hello, Anthony. Always a pleasure. Um, I did start like picking up here a little bit. You can't see it, but it's like it's not great. It was just like I've been so busy, and then like I opened the PlayStation, and like I had stuff everywhere, and so it's like I just need to like get stuff organized, and I really, really need. Oh, God, I wish my friend could come over, like, and help. But she don't live here. Just to be like, hey, sell, giveaways, donate. Like I just need an emotional release. I'm bad at it. I don't know why. It like I think it just really comes from being like that sort of like some stuff you can use again, other stuff, and then it's like you have so much stuff where you're like you buy stuff for like your perfect living situation, and you're like, I've been in this place for like 10 years now, and I'm like, I don't know where I'm going next, and it's like, how are we gonna? I don't even know where to go. I did start researching other cities though about what were the most affordable and LGBTQIA plus friendly cities. So, um, I don't know, but you know what? There wasn't anything. Portland, Oregon was one, and I was like, that's very tempting because one of my best friends lives up there, Tim, and then I took like a screenshot of a couple where I was like, okay, I'd live here. There was like one in Connecticut. I was like, oh. But then I like looked at the houses in Connecticut and I was like, but it's like close to my family, and I do want to move closer to my family, I think. But also I'm like, I don't know. Got to keep going with the dream, right? For now. So let me just pull this up really quick to see what they said. Worcester, Massachusetts, which is wild. That's an hour from my mom's house, like where I grew up, and I meant to look that up. But it also was like, sometimes it's like, is it really? I think it's just like proximity to Boston and stuff. Rochester, New York, Portland, Oregon, Sacramento, California. See, California. Baltimore, Maryland, Hartford, Connecticut, Las Vegas, Nevada, Allentown, PA, Providence, Rhode Island, and Dayton, Ohio. So the ones in here I would definitely look at are Worcester. I don't think I'm like opposed to Rochester, New York. It's close to Toronto, I feel like, right? Like, but Worcester, Portland, Sacramento, maybe. I'd look at that. I don't know what the filming opportunities are like up there, but Connecticut and Rhode Island. I would totally move to Rhode Island. I got all the friends are there. But yeah, I do think about moving back to Massachusetts, but I feel like that is one of those things where it's like, I mean, I do want to eventually, I think I'm going to have to be one of those people that maybe just like has a small place in one place and another, but like the pricing, like to live in Boston, like the median housing price, like last year was $989,000 or something. It was almost $1 million. So it's like, say Worcester, not Worcester. So it's a little like, Trey, you keep saying Atlanta, but then you're like, Atlanta's like $1 million thing. Like, I'm talking, I need a house like 400, like under or something like that. But that's the thing. It's like, it's the cost of living. Okay. Donna, you actually brought up Palm Springs, and that is a discussion topic I've been having with my friend Amber, who lives here, whose family's originally from California, and she's talking about moving there, potentially there. And so that's a place where I'm like, I have an idea. You just said that, and now I'm thinking I'm gonna try and add that to my list of places to visit next time I'm in California. Thank you for that. How far is Portland from Vancouver? It is... Actually, why don't we just plug it in right now? I feel like I actually looked at that, and it was, like, really close. But, like, Seattle is the closer one. So I feel like Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, BC, Canada. I'm going to do driving. I don't think you can drive. You could drive. It is a 5-hour drive. Okay, so it's every time I look down, it gets really bright. So it just must be like trying to look at my face. But yeah, I think for me, it's kind of going to come down to, it's not just like, it is cost of living and stuff like that, but I want to be able to feel like there's a sense of community wherever I am. So it's, about organizations you can join, things like that, but also like, so my question for a community is always like, what's it like at Halloween here? Because I feel like places with good communities have really good Halloweens. And like like, I just want to feel like you are a part of something, you know? So, oh, wow. Ray just said, I work in Boston. It's ranked the second most expensive cost of living in the USA right now. So my friend who was visiting, him and his partner, they have like an apartment. I don't know how you, townhouse? Like, they own it. And it's like a 1-bedroom thing. And they're talking about where they're like looking to be a bigger one, but it's $1.5 million. They were like, we can't look under $1.5 million. And I was like, what? So I'm like, that's like Los Angeles pricing right there. That is insane. Okay. All right, Trey. I will look. My problem is I'm trying to move to a state where the potential of things going south for someone like me are less. And I would like my friends, who are all very diverse, group of people, to also be very comfortable there. That's the place I want to be. I don't want to go where everybody looks like me. So it's like, I definitely want diversity in the city, you know, or it doesn't have to be a city, obviously, but, you know. But that's, yeah, the community test for me is Halloween. But yeah, Seattle is like crazy expensive. It's definitely more expensive. So Seattle is like apparently is on the rise in terms of that, because it became a very like tech heavy city. I believe it's like a lot of like it's like the new Silicon Valley or whatever. And definitely during the pandemic, it like everywhere else, but their housing prices like went through the roof. It's crazy. I've never been to Las Vegas though, so I don't want to count it out, but it's also like, I don't know. I don't think I could be that landlocked. I think I have to be somewhere. That's why I'm like here, like I could end up in the Midwest. I think like Chicago or Milwaukee, but those are near like Great Lakes, and in my brain they're like, that's freshwater ocean. They have a zombie walk, and Netflix is moving in nearby. Listen, Diane, if Netflix is going to Asbury Park, that is 100% an option, because it means there's potential for job opportunity there. I say it like I'm in the business, like I've done anything creative worth. The weather does matter to me. I don't want it to be hot. It can get hot, but I don't want it to be like it is in Florida. It's awful here. I'm fine with like it being hot. Even that's the thing about California. It's hot a lot, but you know what? Their like winter is at least cool, and their nights are cool. And it's like it's just here. It's the humidity is off the chain so much of the year, and it's just too hot. And everything is trying to kill you here. Everything and everyone. Yeah. So gay friendlies. I'm looking for the gays. I want to make sure there's more than one gay bar in town. I have heard good things about Portland, Tori, actually. Portland, Maine. Somebody was telling me that, and I was like, oh, I never would have thought, because I thought like Maine historically was like conservative, or but I guess no. What am I drinking? It looks like Tang. Well, it tastes like Tang too, but it is this orange creamsicle, fruit in the can from Great Notion in Portland, Oregon. No summer yet in Mass, thank God. Yeah. Palm Springs, I'm not even kidding you. We did look at it, and we look at the housing and like what it was and like stuff, and it's surprisingly affordable for California. And that 2-hour drive where I was like, okay, well, you know, what can I do? I wish I could do this stuff. You know, like figure out how to transition it, that I could make a living doing this, like going out and showcasing like local businesses and bars and restaurants and clothing brands and but like people who like need it. So like taking what I'm doing, like the box lunch and stuff, and like putting it on a smaller scale for people. Like, but I don't know. I'd never be able to charge people for that sort of stuff. I'm not that type of person. I'm not somebody who's like, I'm an influencer. Could you give me a discount? If they're like, hey, we're gonna send you this stuff, that's one thing. But it's like, I don't want to take advantage. That's, you know what I mean? There's a fine line between working and collaborating with somebody and taking advantage of somebody. And I feel like there's a lot of people out here who don't know that line, and they take advantage of people. Very gay friendly. Most of us walk upright, and those who don't live in the woods far away. See, that sounds all right. That sounds all right. Okay. here's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm just gonna have to visit all. Try. I'm very serious though. I actually talked about maybe going to, like, I know it's not Atlanta, but like Savannah or something for a couple of days in July, maybe at the end of July or something. So maybe I should change it to Atlanta. I don't know. I love Milwaukee. Like, I love Milwaukee. And the thing I love about Milwaukee is I don't feel like I have to do anything, and I love it. Like, I just love, I think that it's got a great, incredible food scene that is all, for the most part, like locally run and sourced food if you're in the right part of the city, in like that Bayview kind of ish area. And then, like, I love the bar. I love that it's all like, it never to me has felt like no one was there, but I was also never overwhelmingly busy. But there was always people there. It was like a set. It felt like it looked very like a movie set in some ways, you know. And it does give me a little bit of a sort of New England vibe sometimes, or at least when I was there in September. Um, oh, Jersey City's where the Corgi Gin is. I can get involved with that. Yeah, but in Georgia, in Atlanta, you potentially can get snow, which I like. Not often, but I can deal with mega cold. I can't deal with mega heat. That's the thing. Mega cold, I don't mind. I can always put more clothes on and layer and everything like that. It's the heat, and I get it. It's just an inverted problem of like where I grew up. Like it's either too cold to go outside and do anything, or it's too hot. But here it's like way too hot. Um, Liz, I am surprised Austin wasn't on that list I read either, because that city is like super, like, all about safe spaces and things like that. So I don't know if it just weighed in because of the Texas factor or what about it. Um, but then again, Atlanta I think was on the list, so it's like Georgia also seems like everybody's got their problems. I mean, but you know, the big bunch. Da, 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 da. I'm also not, I don't want anybody to think I'm like crapping on their state or anything like that. I'm sure it's hard. I have a friend here who is always trying to sort of reconcile the idea that like we can live here and he can love where he lives, but also be like, I'm embarrassed of the state of the situation here. And I appreciate that about him, because he's like, everything gets kind of like, it's one thing or the other. So everybody gets vilified, you know, that, oh, you must be here because whatever. But I live in a surprisingly, you know, um, like Disney World creates sort of, oh, I thought a liberal bubble, but I don't even like using the word liberal or like conservative is what I mean when I say the other thing, but I don't mean liberal when I say the opposite of that. I just mean friendly. Does that make sense? Like more outgoing, more open-minded. Open-minded. That's what I should say. Kansas City. Oh, I'd come to visit Kansas City. See, I like to try anything. I like to be surprised. And the thing about like some places, it's like you keep talking about Georgia. It's not that far away. It's like a drive. I don't even have to get on a plane. And it's like I should be doing more of that. But now I have a car to be able to do that sort of stuff. I can Airbnb it or whatever I need to do. And that's the thing, you know? And that's the thing. All these places I want to believe, you know, I'm hoping. It's hard because in my belief, I do believe that we have a younger generation that is definitely much more empathetic and um, open and kind in some ways, and a little more tolerant and open-minded. I think I already said that, but that sort of a thing. But it's kind of these people that are afraid of change that stop that from happening. And like we can debate whether you want to be like this way or this way about, you know, matters, but it's like in terms of like hating people, I don't think there's a debate on that. There's no reason to hate people. And so I think that is just awful. I think that that's terrible that that's become the fashion of the world, it seems like right now, because I know not just in this state or in the United States, it's kind of spread. And it's kind of like, that's why I try to do this thing lately where I'm trying to just be like, I think if we said some really nice positive things about just like a random person, whether it was a stranger or somebody we know or anything like that, like think how much nicer it could be. And like, I think that's infectious. And I think it's the same way. It works the same way. Think about how you can develop rage from such things. And I was like, imagine what it'd be like surrounded by like I try to think like, what would a foam pit of just like compliments and pizza feel like to you. That's what you feel, that feeling should be what you get. So that's why I try to want to be like, I'm trying to be like that, because I know my knee-jerk reaction is the northerner in me, is just always kind of like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me? So I just think it's difficult, and it's hard because, again, not everything is black and white, and some things take time to come to an understanding and openness about them. Like, I don't expect people to change overnight, but I do expect you to kind of be like that. I mean, hello, I thought 2020 had a pretty massive year in terms of being like, all right, we're all locked in our house, so we have the time to like do the research on stuff and like become a more understanding and tolerant group of people. And some people just flip the switch the other way, and I was just like, why? When you could choose to make somebody else's life better, it doesn't mean your life is going to be worse. So I just don't get that. Like, I don't know. I think we're just kind of trained to be like, it's like, if you give someone the piece of the pie, you don't get any pie. And I'm like, everybody can have pie. We can, like, we can just figure out how to divvy it up together. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. I'd rather, when I don't understand anything, I want to listen to somebody who knows more than me. Most people know more than me. I like hearing about people's like walks of life. I'm the worst person to be like, let's go to drink at a bar for the first time ever. And I will be like, oh, so you were adopted. What was that like? Do you know your birth parents? Have you thought about seeking them out? How do you feel emotionally about that? And because I feel like sometimes people don't get asked those questions. And I don't mean it in a nosy whatever manner, but I was just like, I think some people want to feel heard and seen, and I know what that means for me when that happens. So like, if I could be that for somebody else, wouldn't you want to be that? So it's hard. It's hard. And it's one of those things that I feel like every time you get into somebody, because I try to do it with my mom and stuff like that, and you start to be like, oh, Mom, like now we try to do stuff a little bit different or blah, blah, blah. And it kind of becomes that knee jerk, like you're judging them or something. And I'll be like, no, you don't understand. Like, I didn't know. I learned this stuff. Like, I'm just trying to spread that with you. And I don't know. It's just a weird, it's hard. And it's also like, oh, well, Mom, why this isn't, and they'll be like, oh, well, like if we're talking about news stuff, it'll be like, Mom, you really shouldn't, like, not a big news person, but I'll be like, I would try having the TV not set to this news station. Oh, well, you think CNN's any better? And I was like, I'm not saying one without the other. I'm not saying one's mutually exclusive of the other one. I'm just like, why don't we pick and choose how you want to hear, how you want to digest the news, how you want to feel like that, and then find the one that works for you. You're letting other people decide for you. And I'm not trying to do that for you either, Mom. I'm trying to give you options. So it's like that sort of a thing. I say that like we had that conversation. I mean, we did have a similar conversation, but it was like, she basically was like, no news. And I was like, okay, that's better than what you were doing. So, but yeah, I think the thing is it's like, I feel like Mark's saying it in the chat here, is this like element of fear or threat. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, things can be scary. I'm not saying you can't be scary. I'm not saying you can't be nervous. Change is not easy. And, but like, I don't know. I won't want to be the same person in 10 years. I don't want to be the same person in 10 years. I want to be ever evolving. I don't want to stop evolving. That's when life gets boring. I want it to be interesting. And I don't know. So it's just like, I like having that. I have a friend here who's very good about like this, like good. I would use the word flowered child a little bit, like a little more kind of in that vein of being like the openness, the honesty, the whatever. And it's hard to break those walls down. But once you do, like, and it will feel awkward, but you are just like, it does feel better later. It does. It's like, it's the Band-Aid ripping off, right? It's the same idea where like, if we go slow, it like hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I don't know. This isn't a good analogy because I just said I don't expect people to change overnight. It's jumping in a pool. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their different ways. You know, some people like to dip their toes in and go slow. Some people are like, I need that change. I'm going in now. And the water could be freezing, because I used to do this all the time where I just hype myself up. And I was like, whatever happens, if you are determined to go in that pool, you're going to get in that pool one way or another. It's just about how you get in that pool. And I would tell myself where I'd be like, it's going to feel the same way either way, and you'll be happy you went in the pool. And I'm like, so sometimes you just got to jump in the pool. But anyway, everybody thinks of it different. I'm always thinking about this weird stuff. But it's just, you know, it's like, I don't know. I hate this idea. I mean, Brandon, you're talking about bullying in the chat too, and it's like I remember, you know, for me it was always picked on when I was younger. Once Power Rangers became less like, it was the biggest thing in the world, and then less people watched it, but I still liked it. And I remember people being like making fun of me, and like remembering it was just another secret I had to hide, where I was like, well, I love Power Rangers, and I still watched it every single day. And I'm glad I did. Because you know what it means for me now? Like, I draw so much from that experience. And I know it's like, some people don't understand it. I'm like, how can you? It's 30 years of a television show. And I haven't seen every episode. I mean, I know the name of every season, and I know what they were about, more or less. But, you know, like, I haven't seen every single episode. But it's just like, I like what it's meant, and like what it can mean for people. And, you know, and like, I like the current show. I have seen every episode of the current show. And like, I cried when they had that Power Ranger came out and she was gay. And I was just like, oh, in my head, I was like, oh, this is really good. But then I just started crying, and I was like, I can't believe what this meant to me. Like, I didn't realize it until it was here. And I was just like, God, what would this have been like for me 15 years earlier, 20 years earlier? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just one of those things. And it's like, I watch the Connors, and like, I grew up in that sort of like a little more wild sort of thing, and I always think like that representation of like a lower class family, or like you know, the very lower class, right? I don't mean lower class and like whatever, but like family that struggles, and I'm just like, God, it's emotional. I cry in Superstore. Somebody wrote that show, definitely worked in retail a lot, and knows what it's like to be that person on the bottom who just can never get further up that ladder. And like, I know if I feel that way, so many other people feel that way, but it also is just like, it just feels so cathartic to have that feeling. So it's just like, it's a lot. I always try to employ these examples because I want people to kind of think about the things they emotionally respond to, and like process why. Like, one of my favorite things about film school is how they approach it at UCF. At least one of my classes specifically, one of my professors was like, it's basically like about working backwards. Like, okay, like you go around the room and you talk about a couple of movies you like, and you're like, okay, well, I like Back to the Future. Okay, why do you like Back to the Future? And like, well, it's a good movie. Why is it a good movie? What is it that you like? Like, let's work backwards and figure out what the things are that you respond to, and then how they were made to get you to maybe respond that way to it. And it's really, that's that fascinating, like, unraveling backwards. So it's like, oh, what do you like? You know, and then sometimes you realize like, oh, maybe it's just like you are responding to like a color scheme, you know, or something, or like, you know, you're the comedy. Okay, well, what is it about the comedy? Is it a 1, 2, 3 setup, like a bump, set, spike, like volleyball? Or is it like a long form? Or is it dry comedy? You know, or is it the social commentary that you love? That's what I love about Superstore, though, is that it's always like, it's the pill and the peanut butter, and it's so good. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. I feel like I'm just rambling now in my own head, and you're all just here with me. But it does, I think I would implore anybody in here who's maybe hasn't thought about it or whatever. I have a thumbs down on this live stream right now, so I know I feel like I know who's the person who was doing that. I think there's somebody that like hate watches me that which is fine. It's everyone's journey. It's just more about them than me. I'm not saying I deserve like thumbs up or anything like that, but I'm just like, I see it. I know who it is. Yeah, Nick, I think Nick has a great thing in here. I think everyone is worthy of love. If you can dig deep and see what hurt them or turn them into that person, everyone started from an innocent place as a child. Think about that when you're thinking about rescuing a dog. Because I have a rescue down here, and he has bitten me a couple of times. The emergency room bit me, and it's I will never let him be put to sleep because he's not doing it maliciously. It's because he has a little thing in him that sometimes I know what does it. It's a food aggression thing, and every now and then it's a flip. And like I know that I've had to like change aspects of my life to be able to fit into his life, but there is I would hate to be the person that ever came for this dog is all, because it is not up for us to decide that. He has not attacked somebody maliciously. He is not just violently going out there. He's not whatever. He most 99% of the time wants to be sitting with you and have you pet him. And so it's like, because somebody beat him as a puppy, he gets to be put to sleep because there's an awful person out there who doesn't have to, then nothing comes of that. Like, that's messed up. Apply that to people too, Oh, only I can see the thumbs down? Oh, okay. Oh, but I do agree. People need to be held accountable, and what, you know what I mean? It's just like, here's my thing. You just got to be willing to work on yourself, right? How do you change if you don't look inward? That's what I try to always tell myself this, because I have, my own struggles and mental wellness issues and stuff like that. And I see it in my family. It's definitely something I've kind of inherited, this like thing. It's like this, just like this little thing. I can feel it like inside me, and it's like knowing it and trying to understand it and trying to figure out like when it's coming and when it has a hold of me. That's when I'm like, okay, it makes my life better because I can start to feel it. And then I know, and then I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to make it better? And it's like, I think you just have to be somebody who's willing to at least look at yourself and understand. Like, I just don't like people that just don't want to change anymore. That just, it's always somebody else is the problem. Somebody else did it to them. Okay, well, the world does stuff to all of us, and we can either just sit here and frown and mope about it, or we can figure out how to move on from it, And it's like, I want people to be happy, and I think that's the way to be happy. And it's like, I feel like I'm at this weird crossroads where it's like so many negative things. I'm so angry about so many things that happened, and, angry, sad about, it's hard. And it's just like, I don't want my dogs to pass away and be like, every day they knew me, I was angry. And I feel like I've been angry for so long in their life that it's like, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to hold on to this anymore. And so it's like learning how to like kind of let that go and live and be like, I've made decisions that I have to live with, that I can change things. And a lot of them I choose not to in some ways, So it's like, God, when did this become therapy? I guess it's always a little therapy though. So, Amelia's in here. Everyone watch out. But yeah, I think it's just, it's kind of choosing to not be that person. I don't know. I want to be that person that gives somebody a compliment instead of makes fun of them. It's okay to tease each other, I think, when you're friends and be like, oh, but I think you also have to be a little empathic towards that stuff and be like, am I teasing them about the wrong thing right now? And we've all made that mistake. I made some joke about my friend who in my eyes is like a very thin, fit person. And I made some like offhanded joke. And I'll be honest, like I made something about, like, I made a joke essentially referring about myself. And I didn't realize it was something they were very self-conscious about. And I was like, oh, and I felt awful about it. Because it was one of those where you're just like, no, I just was like, I am so sorry. And I just wanted to be honest with them and be like, you don't look, I shouldn't have whatever. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And, we all have moments. But anyway, I know, I feel like this chat is going right now, but I have got to go. I am already 20 minutes past the time. Gotta walk those babies and this game. And I always say, I'm not going to go to bed till 2 a.m. I don't go to bed till like 2 a.m. every day. And I wake up at like 7:30 every day, and that is not healthy. And I need to, what's that word they say now for that? Sleep health? Something like that. And mine's awful. And part of it's like a comfort thing. You know, I know a lot of it has to do with my like anxiety and stuff that it's hard for me to, it feels, I am working on it. I am going to speak to somebody about maybe like getting, working on what I am assuming I have is ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD. So I'm working on maybe talking to a mental health professional or somebody who could maybe help me figure out that journey there. And you know who inspired me about that? The Daniels. It was Daniel Kwan. He talked about it when they made Everything Everywhere All at Once. That he found out that that's what he had, and he was like, "I didn't know my life could be." So he spoke about it, and he was like, "I didn't know my life didn't have to be difficult," and I was like, "Oh wow!" And so I'm like, I don't know. I'm in that thing where I was like, maybe it doesn't have to feel like you're always moving through quicksand every day or tar or whatever. And so I'm like, so I was like, eh. It just also feels like it's been exacerbated over the last few years, like with everything with like COVID and then some other trauma I had. And like, so it's like, I definitely have something where I was like, okay, I don't want to lose my mind as I get older. So I've got to like preemptively start doing it. I also ordered some like cream to start putting on these babies up here. So we're going to see how that works and I'll report back. But I just want to thank you all for all being in here and just kind of listening to me. And whoever gave me that thumbs down, you're great too. But yeah, I just, I like it. I feel like you guys are great. You guys and gals, everybody, everything in between. You're all a great echo chamber or sounding board. I don't remember which one. I don't mean in a bad way. I mean in a way where it's like sometimes I just have to talk it through and you're all here. Oh, Echo, cancel. I forgot I named the downstairs Alexa and Echo and it heard me. I was like, who's talking? But yeah, I feel like Elise is in here. Hello, Elise. Yeah. I think it was just good. Sometimes I just have to say it out loud and keep repeating it, and then like your lie becomes your truth, right? So like fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. So it's just good. Thanks everybody for always being in here. I appreciate it. Don't forget those Patreon, anybody that wants to join those contests, you just have to join in the let me look at the calendar really quick. Oh my gosh, sorry. I just want to make sure. I'll probably end this contest like on the 29th or the 30th. So, because I want to say what the next month's contests are on the 31st, so people can choose to like jump ship or hang around or lower or raise or whatever their contest level and stuff like that. So you can check those out. Like I said, patreon.com/Ryno1185. That is RYNO Ryno. And then, yeah, so that's that. So that's it. Thanks, everybody. I hope you have a great night. I'm going to go finish the Star Wars game and be super emotional about it. Trey, I will message you. Bye, everybody. You're wonderful. I'll put that thumbs up too soon.